What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. Your girl has been sick as a dog, and I'm finally back to feeling like myself. So I'm sorry that all of this themed content is coming a little late, but better late than never, right? Today I'm really hyped because I'm coming at you with some fragrance. I feel like I haven't done a fragrance video in a hot minute. Actually, I know I haven't done a fragrance video in a hot minute. So today I figured that it's a great opportunity to bring in some fragrances for you guys. I have everything split up into 3 different categories, and I have 12 fragrances here to share with you guys. These are all my ideal Valentine's date fragrances for different vibes. So if you're interested in seeing all of my top fragrances for Valentine's, Love Month, or even just whenever your boo decides to take you out or you want to treat your bae, then just keep on watching. Before we get into it, I do want to shout out Rose Forever New York. I'm sure y'all can see that brand new bouquet chilling in the background. They are running some awesome sales for Valentine's Day, and I wanted to give them a shout out. This video is not sponsored, but I did tell them that I would be putting this little insert in the video, okay? Rose Forever, if you guys don't know, they are the aesthetic girlie's best friend. If you love roses, you gotta pick them up. Rose Forever is a New York-based company that specializes in preserved roses. They come in their own special boxes, and there are so many options for you to choose from. All of the materials that the boxes are made out of are vegan, and the roses are preserved naturally in essential oils. They are so beautiful. I have close-up shots of my current bouquet, and you can get them in tons of colors. They have black velvet, they have pink velvet, which I have on my display now, but I do have a couple of black velvet bouquets in my room and other places. They are stunning. And you can also get the roses in an array of colors. They have pink, lilac, royal blue, gold, white. I mean, whatever you can think of, they have it, okay? And they are absolutely stunning. They are some of my favorite pieces to add into my decor, especially when it comes to my fragrance aesthetic. I feel like they just fit with fragrance. So I love to have a Rose Forever bouquet chilling in my fragrance section for me to enjoy, and also for you guys to enjoy in my videos. But they do also smell amazing. They have been making my room smell like the sweetest yummy roses ever. So I did want to go ahead and share a discount with you guys. Rose Forever will be doing 65% off of their bouquets up until the 15th. So you have through the 15th to get discounts on your bouquets. So if you want to get them for yourself, or you want to get them for a friend, a significant other, if you maybe have, a fragrance baddie in your life who loves to also dress up their fragrance displays, I think that's the perfect gift. I also do have a coupon code with Rose Forever. I believe it's $25 off of a bouquet. I will have it right here on the screen, as well as in the description box with all of my other codes. So shout out to Rose Forever for sending me this brand new beautiful bouquet. I love y'all so much. And without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, all pertinent details will be in the description box below, including my makeup look. I am loving this lip combo and this eye and the blush. It's a new blush that I'm testing out. All that will be in the description below, as well as all of the fragrances that I'm going to be talking about today. So let's start off with the sweet. We're talking princess vibes. We're talking super sweetness, yummy, candy, but still a little sensual. I have 4 here that are a couple of my favorite sweet fragrances. And when it comes to date night, or especially a daytime date, I tend to go more of a sweet tart fruity gourmand as opposed to a straight up caramel gourmand. But I have 2 different types of gourmands to give you guys. Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. Y'all, can we just talk about the dent? Every time I see the dent, it makes me mad. I mean, one, I'm happy that I do use my fragrance because I should be using my fragrance. I spent money on it. But we all know Kilian ain't cheap. My boo ain't cheap. But I love this though. This is a really sweet, fluffy, orange blossom, neroli, marshmallow fragrance. To me, this kind of smells like fluffy marshmallows dusted with like sweet tarts powder. That probably sounds really, really weird, but I'm telling you, it smells so good. This is very sweet, but still very dainty. It's very much like a sweet candied white floral type of fragrance. If you're someone who tends to shy away from white florals, I feel like this one is a great place to start because it's not going to be that potent, pungent white floral that a lot of white florals tend to carry. This is very sweet. It's very princess-like. It just, it makes me feel special every time I wear it. And this actually mixes well with a lot of my favorite fragrances. If you love fragrances like Alien by Mugler, or of course Vanilla 28 from Kilian, highly suggest mixing this with your more like jasmine forward or vanilla forward fragrances because it layers so beautifully with those like really indolic sexual jasmine scents. I feel like this fragrance is within the same category as Love Don't Be Shy from Kilian, but it is a more raspberry and green note forward take on Love Don't Be Shy, and that is by Juliette Has a Gun. I actually received this in an influencer package maybe like 2 months ago, and I haven't gotten around to talking about it, but I have been wearing it and testing it out. I really like Juliette Has a Gun fragrances. I feel like if you're someone who goes for more so of the subtle, light, airy, you want someone to notice you, but you don't want to feel like you're knocking somebody out of the room type fragrances, I feel like Juliette Has a Gun is for you. You can wear them to brunch, you can wear them on a date, but they're also, I feel like, very like cuddle friendly. I feel like you're not going to like choke your partner out with your fragrance, right? This is very similar to Love Don't Be Shy in that it does have that marshmallow fluffy base. There is a little bit of orange blossom and there is some neroli in here, but this also has like a slightly bitter green note in it, as well as a very deep, like tart, jammy raspberry that I think just makes this far more unique than Love Don't Be Shy, if that makes sense. My dog's just like lost it, and I totally lost my train of thought. But I think where I was going with this is that this is a very sweet, slightly tart, jammy, and a creamy fragrance, whereas the Love Don't Be Shy is more so like powdery, fluffy, sweet. This is a little bit more nuanced. Great if you want the same vibe. If you love fragrances like Love Don't Be Shy, but you want to smell just a little bit more unique, I think from Juliette Has a Gun is definitely the one you want to reach for. The flip side of that, I love to have some really good, solid vanillas. I mean, a good vanilla fragrance will just kind of make your boo kind of drop dead, you know? It's always a solid 100% compliment getter. You know you're going to smell good. And so I had to include my baby in here. This is one of my most complimented fragrances of all time. I can't imagine not wearing it at this point because I love it so much, but other people love it on me so much. And that is Gentle Fluidity Gold from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I know that this fragrance is super popular, and it's super popular for a reason, y'all, because it is absolutely stunning. This is an ambery vanilla with hints of juniper and nutmeg. It is very sweet, creamy vanilla, but it has a little bit of like a sharp herbaceousness to it. And I feel like this scent is just so pleasant and inviting. It's the perfect amount of fluffy, sweet vanilla with a little bit of warmth from those spices and a tad bit of freshness from the juniper. And I absolutely live for this. Whenever I wear this on more than one occasion, actually on more occasions than I can count on one hand, I have been stopped and been told that I smell heavenly. Like, every time I wear this perfume, it seems like someone is telling me not just how good I smell, but like that my smell is almost like divine, like otherworldly. People have used heavenly to describe this on more than one occasion, and I feel like that is absolutely 100% accurate. It is familiar, but also it just takes that familiarity up a notch. in a way that is so well done, really refined, sweet, but just not quite going over the edge of too sweet. I think this is a perfect gourmand, especially if you want to like really do it up for a date. I think this is going to be a really great one to grab. I've gone through several decants of this, and I really need y'all to just convince me to buy a full bottle. This scent has been very popular on social media for a while, and I feel like the hype around this brand has kind of died down in general, but I absolutely love this fragrance. I've gone through several decants, and I need to get over myself and just purchase a full bottle, and that is Sweet Vanilla from Montale. So Sweet Vanilla is very simple. It is an apricot and vanilla fragrance, and it is probably one of the most potent vanilla fragrances that I have ever encountered. What I love about Montale is that while they are very potent and strong, when they really kind of dry down on the skin and you just give the fragrance a little bit of room to breathe, they are so beautiful in the way that they project. Montale is one of those brands that I feel like it's not the kind of fragrance that you want to like stick your nose into, right? If you just spray it on your skin and you're always doing this, I feel like Montale fragrances are going to kind of be a turn off. They might smell a little fake. They might also smell a little too pungent, kind of give you a headache. It's the scent trail for me for this fragrance. This is a really dense, rich, creamy vanilla that has this really nice, fresh, but also kind of like, there's a little bit of like fruity funk that apricot has, and this totally like 100% encompasses that scent that you get from an apricot. And it's so good. It's sweet and it's fluffy, but also kind of a little syrupy as well. It kind of gives like an apricot syrup, and I love it. I don't know why I have continued to just not purchase this. There are several Montale fragrances that I want to put in my collection, and maybe that's why, because I want to buy like all of them, because so many of them are really, really good. But this is definitely one that I feel like I need to put into my collection this year, because I have been wearing these decants and testers out, y'all. But I mean, where would you got, right? If you are just wanting to go straight out sweet, I highly suggest this. And I feel like Sweet Vanilla is one of those vanilla fragrances that you can totally rock regardless of how hot or cold it is. It doesn't feel like it's like a seasonal vanilla, you know what I'm saying? It's not a super spicy vanilla. Like, it's very much just sweet, fluffy, and a little syrupy. So it does really, really well in the heat for me, but it also does amazingly in the wintertime too. Absolutely love this. If you are trying to get ate up like he might eat the you-know-what like groceries, highly suggest Sweet Vanilla. All right, and then for my next vibe, my next classification, these are my classic scents. These are the scents that are, I feel like, classically pretty, sensual, sexual, dainty. They are surefire compliment getters. They are very much, I would say, mainstream, and they are definitely crowd-pleasing scents. But I feel like these are the types of scents that no matter how crowd-pleasing they are, no matter how many other people wear them around you, you're still gonna be that chick when you wear it, because they're the kind of scents that really just mesh with your skin and just make you smell like uniquely you. The first one is actually my scent of the day. We ran some errands today, and I just wanted to smell pretty, but also just not over the top and overdone. And that is Prada La Femme. I feel like I haven't talked about this fragrance in a while, but it's one of my most worn fragrances ever. You can see that there's a pretty big dent in it. I feel like by the end of this year, I'm going to have to get another bottle. I absolutely love this fragrance. This is a creamy white floral fragrance. This has some white floral notes in it, but there's also like notes of honey and beeswax. It is very pretty, classy, but also skin-like. Like, this is the kind of scent that you put it on and you smell like you're so classy and chic that you possibly just sweat good fragrance. Like, that's the kind of scent that this is. It's going to leave a light scent trail. So people will smell you when you wear this, but it's not going to blow people out of the room. It's not going to be overwhelming. I also feel like this is a really great one if you know you're going to have a little cuddle sesh after your date. This is going to do very well because it smells like clean, fresh, creamy skin. It's just so nice. I feel like this really just meshes with most people's skin chemistry very, very well, and really just makes you smell really pretty. It's not necessarily edible, but there is a creaminess to it from the beeswax. I think there's also like some carrot seed in here too. It's a very creamy, sweet white floral, but it's not super duper sweet. You know, this is definitely not in the gourmand category. It's definitely more of a floral. If you're looking for something that's very just classically pretty, I think this is great, especially if you don't like rose. I feel like I tend to gravitate towards rose when I want something that's a very classic, pretty scent, but a lot of people don't like rose, and I think that this is a really great one to go for if you are not a rose guy, gal, they, them, whoever. If rose is not your thing, pick up Prada La Femme. One is an OG favorite of mine for a long time. This scent, even though the one that I have is a flanker, but there was a long time where this scent was my signature. It was all that I wore. It was the scent that people knew me by. People knew that I was in the room because they recognized this scent. And that is Giorgio Armani Si. Now, I have Si FIORI, which I believe has been discontinued. They always discontinue the good stuff. But I highly suggest now, if you're going to go with Si, I suggest getting the intense version. Don't get the regular version, get the intense, because the intense smells like what the regular version used to smell like. They've definitely dulled down the formula a little bit. And I know because I have gone through bottles of the original Si. Si FIORI is the same DNA, but it has like a marshmallow note to it, so it's a little bit fluffier and lighter. But it's not quite in the lane of Love Don't Be Shy or from Juliette Has a Gun. I have heard people tell other people that this is basically Love Don't Be Shy, and I don't know who hit y'all over the head. Look, I know scent is subjective, but there's no way that you could ever compare this deep black currant liqueur to the fluffy orange blossom that is Love Don't Be Shy. There's nothing there's nothing remotely similar about them. I feel like if you love Love Don't Be Shy, you would like Si FIORI if you can find it, but I don't think they're dupes of each other at all, and I don't think that this smells like Love Don't Be Shy at all. But I love the Si collection. Giorgio Armani Si in general is a very black currant forward fragrance. There's black currant, there's patchouli, and I think there is like the slightest bit of rose in here. But to me, this smells like a really sexy, sensual black currant liqueur. Like, it almost smells like a wine. And the patchouli in this is not super duper forward. Even in the intense version, the patchouli is there, but it does more to give longevity to the scent as opposed to kind of making you smell like, you know, like a smoke shop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna walk around smelling like Lush and blackcurrant. You know what I'm saying? You know that Lush scent, was it Karma, I think it's called? It doesn't, the patchouli in this is not like that at all. It's a very soft patchouli, and it lends to the longevity of the fragrance. On the skin, this really heats up, warms up, and gets really sweet and kind of like syrupy, but not overly sweet. It's just really beautiful. It's definitely a fragrance that I feel like gets a lot of attention. It's one of those that I also feel like is kind of timeless. A lot of people I've noticed have been trying to kind of backtrack and hate on Si, but at the end of the day, even though this is no longer like my 100% signature fragrance, when I go back to it, she does what she needs to do. I smell amazing, and everyone else knows that I smell amazing, and I feel like this is just a really great fragrance for a date. It's a no-brainer. It's a classic, classy Dumry. This is one of those few fragrances in my collection that I feel like makes me feel extra feminine, and not in the sense of like gendering fragrance, but I just feel like extra womanly when I wear it. I don't know why. It's just a vibe. I feel like we all have those vibes. Like there are certain things that just make us feel a little extra womanly. Like we're in our power bag, right? Like you're kind of feeling that pussy power energy when you wear certain things, right? And I feel like this is that fragrance for me. And the dent in the bottle should tell you all you need to know about how I feel about this fragrance. This is Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. Y'all, this fragrance never, ever, ever fails. If I had to tell you guys that I had a signature, I would love to say that my signature is Fève de Lucius, because you guys know I love Fève de Lucius, but I would have to say that now, if I had to pick a signature, it would be Mon Guerlain. Majority of people now know me by this fragrance. I am constantly getting stopped whenever I leave the house when I wear this fragrance. Seriously, y'all, pretty much every time I put on this fragrance and I leave the house, I end up giving out someone the name of what I'm wearing when I leave, whether that's like being at a job or being at the store or just like minding my business, you know? I always get stopped when I'm wearing this fragrance because it just smells so good. And I know that this is a popular fragrance and I know a lot of people wear this, but I don't know. This just really makes me feel like I'm in my bag. Like it makes me feel like I'm like in extra feminine energy mode. This is vanilla, coumarin, a little bit of lavender. It is very sweet and slightly herbaceous. I feel like there's something about sweet gourmands with an herbaceous touch on my skin that really comes out very sensual and sexy and really stands out and projects on my skin. Those tend to be the types of fragrances that I get compliments on and that people really notice out in the atmosphere when I'm around. The projection and sillage on this baby right here is just immaculate. Like I said, people have walked by from me, like feet away from me, several feet away from me, and have come up to me and been like, you walked past me and I had to know what you were wearing. I put a few different men on for Christmas when it came to this because their wives had stopped me in the store. But this is beautiful. I feel like it's such a simple fragrance, but there's just something so special about it. And there's just something that just smells so sweet and in a way kind of comforting, but also really sexy. Like I said, it just puts you like, makes you feel like you're in your bag. And I feel like this is a really great everyday scent, but also a really beautiful date scent, especially for like brunch or like going out to lunch or like a day date. I just feel like this is really great. Or if you're doing like a picnic outside, this is going to project and last on your skin the entire time, regardless of what you're doing. So this has been put through very rigorous labor at my old job, and it lasts. And I still got compliments on it, and nobody ever called me funky, not once. So this can hold up to any kind of date that you go on. I promise you, it's that girl. It's that girl. I feel like I just had to be predictable, but I feel like it's also one that you just can't go wrong. If you love a rose fragrance, if you just want to smell classically pretty, if you want to give off like Princess Diana vibes, you know, you gotta go for her. Parfums de Marly Delina. People try to hate on her and say that she is not what she is, but I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like this fragrance speaks for itself. I've heard people say that this smells designer, and I just feel like it just doesn't. I have other designer fragrances or have come across other designer fragrances in my collection that tried to be Delina, but they just don't get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's just something about the craftsmanship of this fragrance, the longevity. It's just beautiful. This is a really beautiful rose, lychee, and nutmeg combination. So you get a lot of that really beautiful rose petal aspect to it, but it's spicy and a little bit tart from the nutmeg and the lychee. And this is just beautiful. Now, I have decants of Exclusive because I was trying to decide if I was also going to put that in my collection. Because you know, frag heads, they have like all the Delinas, but I personally don't feel like I need all the Delinas. And Exclusive is a little sweeter and creamier, but to me, it's just not enough for me to justify having both. This is one of those fragrances that lasts you forever. I've had this in my collection for a bit, and I do use this quite often. And it's only right here. I usually use this for dates, special occasions, all that good stuff. Y'all know I'm like getting back in my dating bag, so I've been trying, y'all. I've been leaving my house. You'll be proud of me. So yeah, I absolutely love Parfums de Marly Delina. It's just classically pretty. If you just want a really nice, simple rose scent that also has a little bit of an edge to it and a little bit of a kick, then you gotta go for your girl. My last category, we are going showstoppers. These are the scents that are more unique. They may not be for everybody, but they're gonna be for you because you don't like to be traditional. Maybe you like to be sweet, but you also like to be a little more, you know? And I feel like all of these really fit these 4 fragrances. I feel like these fragrances are showstoppers. They're strong. They're like, hi, I'm here. We're on a date and you're mine. They're that. And I feel like these are all very like kind of sexual too. Just saying. First one up, one of my favorite fragrances from Montale of all time. This is Ristretto Intense Cafe. So they have the original Intense Cafe and then they have the Ristretto. They are very similar, but I prefer the Ristretto one because the coffee note in this lasts so much longer. And there's a really beautiful creamy caramel note in this as well that just like does something to your girl. This lasts for hours. I made the mistake of putting this on a coat. And it has smelled like Intense Cafe for like the last 3 months when like it's potent. These are very oily. Like Montale has very oily fragrances. So this has a very strong rose with notes of coffee. There's caramel, a little bit of praline. It is so good. I feel like if you are a fan of Oud Bouquet, then you will also be a fan of this, but I don't feel like Oud Bouquet and Intense Cafe are exactly the same. And I don't necessarily feel like Oud Bouquet is as easy to put into a lineup as Intense Cafe. There's just something more approachable about having that strong, potent rose with those creamy gourmand notes without having the oud. You know, oud can scare people off. And this is really good. It's kind of all of those things, but it's turned up a notch. It's just creamy and it's warm. It's sweet, but it's also incredibly floral. And I feel like if you are really someone who's trying to make a statement, you're going out, you got your freakum dress on, and you want to know you smell bomb and you want to know you're going to smell bomb all night, Intense Cafe is the way to go. The original one is great too if you don't want to smell as gourmand, but if you're really going for the gourmand notes in Intense Cafe, Ristretto is your boo. I never saw myself being someone who loves this fragrance. A lot of people hate this fragrance, but it's interesting because whenever I wear it out, I always get stopped. And I feel like it's more so just body chemistry for people. It's not necessarily that the fragrance is bad itself, even though I know a lot of people don't like it. And if you know, you know. Black Orchid from Tom Ford. Yeah, I'm a Black Orchid girl, and it smells amazing on me, and I love it. Black Orchid is an intense, indolic floral. It is floral, it is sweet, it is spicy. It's not gourmand by any means. It is in your face. This smells like money. Me personally, I love the fragrances from the Signature collection more than the majority of the fragrances that I have tried from the Private collection. This and its other counterparts in the Orchid range last for hours, days. I mean, for real, Lost Cherry can never. I'm just saying. It's interesting to me how all the other fragrances that I have that aren't in the Private collection from Tom Ford last way better than the Private collection from Tom Ford. I really want to get the gold version of this too. I think it's the Parfum, which is supposed to be sweeter, but this is an intense orchid fragrance with black truffle. There is some Mexican chocolate in here as well. And like a little boozy note too. I want to say there might be rum in here. I know there's rum in the purple version of this, which I also love. It was one of my first like introductions to Tom Ford back in the day. Y'all, the way this smells on me, this smells like sex on me. And a lot of that is because of the indolic notes that are in this fragrance. On me, this fragrance pulls sweeter. The florals don't pull as harshly as I feel like it may on some other people. On me, this pulls very sweet. And I love it. I get stopped all the time when I'm wearing this. People ask me what I'm wearing and they're like, you smell really, really good. What is that? And a lot of times when I tell people I'm wearing Black Orchid, they're surprised because they're like, I usually don't like Black Orchid. And I'm like, it has to be like my skin chemistry. I feel like there are just certain notes. Like I said, those herbaceous, like really strong notes that a lot of people tend to shy away from tend to work really, really well on my skin. But I feel like if you are someone who is really like trying to be out the box, like, you know, you smell good, you wear your fragrance does not wear you, Black Orchid is that girl. If you have not tried her, I highly suggest going to the store and giving her a sniff, because a lot of people don't like her, but you may be like me and have a love for her. I'm just saying. Another one that is just very like stand out. It's different. It's not what you expect. It's dark. It's sensual. It's just everything. It gives big Scorpio energy. And that is Versace Crystal Noir. I've talked about this so many times. And I talk about it often because I love it. This is one of my favorite super strong scents. It's just really, really unique. I'm not the biggest fan of the majority of the Versace fragrances. This one is the exception to the rule for me though. This has notes like magnolia, some other white florals. There's coconut in here. There are some fruits in here. I believe there's a cardamom note in here as well. To me, this is creamy. I get a lot of that green cardamom, so it's very spicy. It's really difficult to describe, but if you have worn this, you know the power that this fragrance has. And what is it about this fragrance in particular, out of all of the unique, interesting, non-crowd pleasing fragrances that exist out there, this will have a man on his knees. What is it about this fragrance? I don't know. I wore this on my birthday and got hella attention. Every time I wear this, I get hella attention. And it's just one of those, it doesn't smell like anything else. I feel like this is one of those designer fragrances that really kind of did their thing when it came to making something unique, making something that doesn't smell like everybody else's. And for some reason, it is also one of those fragrances that just draws people in. There's just something about how it's just a little floral here and really creamy. It like the scent just kind of envelops you, but it's also really, really spicy, and it's inviting in a way that's like, you know, I might be a dominatrix, but I'm also going to give you really good aftercare. Like it has that kind of vibe, you know, and I love it. It is just so sexy and sensual. It's a baddie fragrance. It is big Scorpio energy, like I said. If you're looking for something unique, but you don't quite want to go as deeply unique as Black Orchid, give Versace Crystal Noir a try. I really don't care about gender norms in general, and I definitely don't care about gender norms when it comes to fragrance. Me personally, I feel like gender labels on fragrance are just kind of stupid. And this is one of those fragrances that I feel like smells amazing on everybody. It's marketed towards men. I love wearing this fragrance, and it is definitely one of those different fragrances that gets me a lot of compliments. This is from Tom Ford again, and this is Ombré Leather Parfum. They actually sent this to me, I think, last year or the year before. I mean, color me like shocked to get any kind of like gift from Tom Ford, right? But this is enough, like just more proof that everything outside of the private collection smells nicer, like has better longevity, and overall impresses me more, because this fragrance is everything. This is one of my favorite leather fragrances. This is leather, cedarwood, and violet. This is a very dry fragrance. This is not like creamy, syrupy sweet. It's sweet from the violet, but in a dry way. And not even necessarily powdery. I wouldn't call this powdery. A lot of violet fragrances lean very like powder. Like a lot of violet fragrances kind of smell like makeup. This does not have that makeup-y smell. You get that really sweet candied violet and that really soft touch, smooth, leather, suede scent. Kind of like the scent that you get when you walk into like any designer store that sells bags. It smells like a designer bag. It really does. And then the cedarwood notes at the base really just make this almost feel spicy. On my skin, this almost has like a level of spiciness to it that I don't really know what to put on it. I maybe need to go on Fragrantica and see if maybe there are a few more notes that other people are picking up than what's listed as the base of this fragrance. But it's so good. You need like 3-4 sprays max of this. It lasts all day, and this is just another one of those fragrances that I feel like it doesn't matter who you are. This is going to smell amazing on you. It is very, very sweet. I feel like if you're someone who likes to go into those more unisex, androgynous scents, you know, or if you like to share scents with your man, I feel like this is definitely the one. It's sweet, it's deep, it's dark, it's sensual, it's sexy. It makes me feel like I am just that bitch. It really does, and I absolutely love it. I highly suggest this to everybody. Okay, guys, that is it for my top fragrances for the month of love. You guys let me know, are y'all like doing it up with your partners? Are you out here trying to date? Are you gonna let somebody pick you up for Valentine's? I've been having men's trying to come see me. And I'm trying to be good, y'all. I'm trying to let them take me out, okay? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.